All right, guys, we are talking Arizona Elk Draw 2024 unit specific breakdown. Today we're talking unit 7, 7 East and 7 West. Unit 7 is obviously divided into two subunits and indicated on the draw. And as it implies, Unit 7 East is east and Unit 7 West is the west side. So let's break these down real quick. Unlike 6A and 6B, Unit 7 East and 7 West are very, very different units to hunt. They're almost different, like different total landscapes, different parts of the state. It almost feels like all together. They both offer really good opportunities in their own way. Let's start with the more frequently asked about unit, which is 7 East. So I have numerous guys talk to me about 7 East. I've kind of in the past, I've kind of been a little negative on 7 East just because I know it's a very difficult unit to hunt. It's a very difficult unit to access where the elk are because it's just arid. There's not a big elk population. It borders the Navajo Nation, and that's the eastern boundary. And then very, very mountainous on the west side of 7 East, which typically holds the majority population of the elk. It's a wilderness area that requires a lot of physical exertion to get up in there and to be strategic and also maintain personal safety when you're going up there and hunting in the Peaks Wilderness area is what it's referred to. And they actually have different hunts broken up inside 7 East. So if you see Peaks Wilderness Hunt area or Peaks Wilderness Hunt, that is in 7 East. So that being said, 7 East is a little bit better. It has a little bit more easier draw odds. It has more opportunities to, go out there and hunt if you're a resident or a non-resident. But for the most part, guys, it's not a unit where you're going to expect seeing just tons of elk everywhere. I know a lot of guys that are successful every single year, or at least every year they get drawn in 7 East, and they're physical guys that get after it, that get high, that glass, that do their scouting in the off season, scouting preseason, guys that really work hard at it. So if you're one of those guys that wants a challenge and is okay with getting drawn in areas that don't have a lot of elk and they're a little bit hard to find, 7 East is up your alley. You can still shoot some big bulls out of 7 East. There's 330 to 350 bulls that roam around 7 East because if you just look on a map, it's not that far from obviously 7 West, but obviously also Unit 9. And there are bulls that come across the Navajo Nation, the Navajo Indian Reservation to the east. And there's bulls that come out of 11M, which is your southern boundary, which is basically Flagstaff metropolitan. So as most areas like metro areas where you see pictures of giant bulls or giant mule deer hanging out in the city, that tends to be the case in Flagstaff as well. And they offer an 11M tag for that. And so hunting that border is not a bad idea too if you have that 7 East tag and really trying to hunt bigger bulls. So that's my spiel on 7 East. It's a good hunt. It can be very, very challenging. Definitely be ready for that, especially if you're looking at a unit to try to draw with a lesser amount of points, which I refer to as 10 points and under if you're a non-resident, or in that 5 points and under as a resident. 7 East is available for you, but just be ready to do your homework, to get a lot of scouting time in preseason, and then have your work cut out for you when the season happens, because there is hunting pressure and there is pressure, and these bulls get pushed back into spots that are very difficult to get into. So just be ready for 7 East, guys. I want to challenge you to be ready for that. It's not easy, but it's also can be a really quality hunt if that's kind of what you're looking for. Obviously, it kind of goes back to what I said in 6A, 6B is more opportunities within a shorter amount of time, and eventually you are going to have a chance at a bigger bull. The more you are out in the woods, the better as a chance to shoot bigger bulls and just be more successful overall. So 7 West, jumping right into that. It's very, very different as far as landscape goes. a lot more rolling hills. There's a lot more topography, a lot more glassing knobs all throughout. It's not like the whole thing is entirely different, but it's Seven West tends to be all elk country, where you can find an elk pretty much anywhere in Seven West, where Seven East, the northern half and north and eastern sides tend to be a lot more arid, where Seven West is sandwiched in between Giant Mountain Range and Unit 10. So it's a very, very quality area to be hunting. And it's not easy to draw. So with that being said, it's not an easy unit to draw. You got to have a few points to draw that, as you can see on the draw odds that I'm posting up there. It's not easy to draw. There are bigger bulls in Seven West. It's not typically a unit where you're going to be looking or holding out for a 380 type bull, but your goal should be 300 plus, potentially 330 to 350 type bull in Seven West early archery, and then Seven West late rifle. You're looking in that ballpark too. There are a lot of bulls that hang around in some of that bigger country and some of that rougher country after the rut. They hang out in Seven West, or come over from Unit 9, come down from Unit 9 and get into some of that more mountainy, nasty country after the rut's over. So you can have good trophy potential in Seven West, but expect some traffic, expect hunting pressure. There's no secret to this country. You look on a map and you can see where the high points are, where the elevation is, where the mountains are. And so you're going to see a lot of pressure in those areas. If you're hunting early archery, it's a lot of water dependent, some of that northern stuff in the juniper country. And so it's just a matter of getting on the bulls, getting on the herds, and getting after it. So I like both of these units. Seven East and Seven West are both very, very good, but they require you to do your homework. Both accessible, not great roads, guys. It's not like 6A or some of the stuff that I talked about, like 3A, 3C or Unit 1. Not great, but not crazy brutal either. There's some nasty roads in 7 East and 7 West, but there's also great areas to camp in the pines too. That's very accessible. You can pull your trailer in, and you can do a fair amount of hunting off of your vehicle and glassing like that too. But 7 West and 7 East both offer more areas that you can actually spend a lot more time hiking into that are roadless, just because of the mountain ranges and wilderness areas that exist in both of those units. So I hope this helps you guys, give a little light on it. If you look at the draws, you're thinking, why is 7 East and 7 West so different? They touch each other. What makes them so much different as far as the odds and the tag numbers and all that stuff goes? And really it has to do with the habitat and terrain in 7 East. Really the elk terrain and habitat is a lot smaller, where 7 East is the whole unit almost is very good elk country. So I hope that helps, guys. I wish you the best of luck in the draw. I hope the draw odds and going over some maps, guys, helps. I always encourage everybody to do as much e-scouting and scouting as possible. And if you have any questions, you want to reach out to me, do so. If you have any questions about guide service, drop camps, scouting packages, anything like that, shoot me an email. Got my stuff linked up below. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video.